Hello and live from the Chicagoland Speedway. This is an Oval Truck Series tour here live on iRacing.com and YouTube. As qualifying is just about wrapped up, we're going to take a look at your starting grid here around the 1.5 half mile here in Joliet, Illinois. Starting on pole inside row 1 in the 45, it's going to be flying Carl Shed. To his outside in the 19, it's Eric Stanford. Second row inside from the third spot. In the 12, it's Ross Cato. And to his outside in the 98, it's David Washington. Third row inside, starting from 5th in the 9, is Kyle Cameron. To his outside in the 81 is Shane Parrish.
Rolling off 7th in car number 13 tonight, Matt Hoover. Rolling off 8th to his outside is going to be the 88 of Matt Cook. And that rounds out your field tonight. There's going to be 8 cars on the racetrack tonight. Andrew, I'm high above turn 1 right now where 18 degrees of banking settles this corner out. Just a lot of form, and it's really fast arcing it down off the front straightaway, Andrew. And I know you're sitting down there in 3 and 4, and tell me about what it's like down in 3 and 4.
Excuse me, I didn't think my mic was on. Did you hear me there, Daniel?
No, not at all.
Okay, you're going to head down the back straightaway into turn 3. 18 degrees of banking. You're going to slam that car right to the white line. Extremely bumpy down there. It's going to be a fight of who can get to the gas quicker. And you're going to exit down turn 4, coming across this very, very winding front straightaway. You're going to see trucks duck to the bottom on the flat there to use up all of it. And that is a lap around the Chicagoland Speedway. Before these cars roll off, we're going to go down the pit road for some late-breaking stories. Going to look at David Washington right now, coming off a lot of momentum in the SSCA Cup Series. He was able to pick up the win last Thursday night at the Bristol Motor Speedway. A little tougher right now. Practice, he was 5th. He was able to qualify 4th. Going to have to watch for him. For Dylan Jones, having a very, very good month here in July, averaging a 1.2 finish in the RSR Cup Series. That included 4 wins in a row that was broken last Monday. Gonna have to watch for him. He was 3rd in qualifying, 3rd in practice, did not make a qualifying time. He will be coming from the back of the field. And last but not least, on pole, how about the 45 of Carl Shed? Has not been on iRacing lately a lot, but definitely good in these trucks. He was 7th at practice, able to put it on the pole. Gonna have to watch for him. Back to you, Daniel.
As you can see, the field rolling around here at 65 miles per hour behind the Ford Mustang pace car. Lined up double file, 2 by 2. All the way throughout the field, Dylan Jones is going to be starting dead last, skunk on the field. And looks good, Andrew. As you can see, the 9's pulling down, warming up his tires. The boys are getting ready, pulling them tight right here. Coming through 3 and 4, and Andrew, flagman's got one finger up in the air with the green flag in hand.
iRacing.com pace car looks to make the hard left-hand turn here for the Noble Cup Truck Series right now. It's going to be initial green on the iRacing.com green flag. So field will be in the hands of Carl Shed kinda right now. You see the pace car make the hard left-hand turn. Carl Shed is going to get on the loud pedal, and we're underway here at Chicagoland.
Look at them all 2 by 2 throughout the field. Ross Cato is your first battle for second. To the inside of Eric Stanford through 1 and 2 they work. Carl Shed right there on the white line. They all single file top 3. Now the battle is on for 4th.
Battle on for 4th. Here comes Kyle Cameron to the bottom of David Washington. They're going to slam that truck right on the white line. Preferred line to Kyle Cameron. Washington's going to fight back on that high line. They're coming back to complete lap 1. Is going to go to Carl Shed.
Carl Shed set sail, battle still on for 4th. It's David Washington to the outside of Kyle Cameron. Kyle Cameron all the way down to the white line. Once again, pushes up just a little bit. David Washington's going to get a big run right here. He's going to shoot to 4th off of turn 2.
Here comes David Washington fighting on that high lane. They're still going to be side by side for that 4th position. Meanwhile, out front right now, it's a 3-car breakaway led by Carl Shed. He's going to bring that 45 Toyota Camry off the corner, and he's going to complete lap 2 as your leader.
Here they come, working back down towards turn 1. Carl Shed about a car length ahead of Ross Cato. Ross Cato about a car length ahead of Eric Stanford, and look way back about 12 car lengths to David Washington. Now a battle's on for 5th. Kyle Kamer, Matt Hoover, who wants it the most?
Matt Hoover has that preferred lane on the outside. I really thought the inside was going to carry it, but it seems to be a disadvantage. Kyle Cameron's going to fight back to the high line. Washington checks up the corner, and that's going to hurt Matt Hoover. Here comes Kyle Cameron to the bottom of the racetrack. They're still side by side as he's going to cut the try over there, and he's going to take the position at the line.
Still right there to his outside. The 13 machine looks all the way up the track. 9 pushes right up into his door a little bit, and maybe a little contact right here. Kyle Kamer gets loose. Give it to the 13 down the back straightaway.
Advantage Matt Hooper. He's going to get about half a truck length right now. Kyle Cameron are going to have to watch. Here comes the 81 of Shane Parrish is going to look to take the spot away. They're going to settle it out right now. This is the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th as they exit turn 3. Out front still Carl Shed.
Carl Shed with about a 2 truck length lead heading into turn 1, but don't look now. Eric Stanford all over the rear deck lid of the Zippo machine of Ross Cato. Working off a turn 2, all single file throughout the field.
Right now, following the 45 of Carl Shed. He's able to run right on that bottom line. You see him enter right up against the red bandit sign. Going to park that truck right on the white line. Going to get back on the gas as he exits. He starts to stretch the lead out as we come to completion of lap 5.
All throughout the field is single file, looking all the way back to about the 9 machine and the 81. That's the tightest group we have right there, and that's all the way back to 6th place. We're going way all the way to the rear of the field is Dylan Jones. I don't know what's wrong with the 8 machine. Maybe he's just taking his time and biding his time down the back straightaway.
You gotta look at the former peak driver as him just biding his own time. He knows how to race these trucks right now, sitting 13th in the Road to Pro Series, which are these trucks open setup. A little different with these fixed setups. He's definitely trying to learn something that he can carry over as we complete lap 6.
Carl Shed is leading the way, completing lap 6 right here. All through 1 and 2, the still single file. Carl Shed and his Monster Energy machine is just stretching it out a little over Ross Cato down this long back straightaway. Every time, Andrew, you're turning down these back straightaways, and you're just turning the whole time. You know what it's like doing that here at Chicagoland?
Definitely, this track is very, very unique. A place like Pocono where the NASCAR iRacing Series was last week, and the C-Fix Series was as well. You get a time to rest with those long straightaways. Definitely not here. The track is always turning almost like a circle, especially down the back straightaway. A very unique track where it does not straighten out. You're just in a constant turning motion. As they exit turn 2 as they head down the back straightaway. Carl Shed right now has expanded that lead. We're going to call it about 0.3 of a second. We'll call it about 5 car lengths. Eric Stanford is starting to close in on the rear deck lid of the 12 car.
Battle for 5th now. Matt Hoover to the outside. Kyle Kamer trying to work his way back in the Quality Care truck down to the inside. Equal coming here into turn 1. Matt Hoover working the outside line. About middle groove. Kyle Kamer right there on the white line. Give it to Matt Hoover down the back straightaway.
That 13 Florida Gator truck right now looking good. He is the only truck I see on the outside lane. We'll see if that is able to save tires. Everybody else right now, as you see Kyle Kamer go back to the inside, planning it on that white line. I think that is a quick way around, but Matt Hoover, got to give him credit. The only one trying something else.
I think Matt Hoover has it figured out. 1 and 2 is a little bit faster on the outside line because it doesn't bind up the truck as much. But Kyle Kamer works 3 and 4 so much better, and that moves him right back up to the rear deck lid of the 13 machine. Here he comes off of turn 2, right down the back straightaway. He looks to the inside, headed towards you, Andrew.
Here comes a blue and red 9 truck. He's going to look to the bottom of the racetrack. Plants that truck. He's not going to get all the way to the bottom. Now he does. Going to hook line. A lot of grip down there. They're side by side as they exit. Give the advantage to Matt Hoover as they come across the line to complete lap 10.
All the way down, almost in the grass is the 9 machine. Now equal into turn 1. Matt Hoover to the outside. Runs about the middle groove that he's been running all race long so far. Kyle Kamer down to the inside about the deck lid right there. Tries to get around on his corner. Now there's nothing there for the 9 machine.
Advantage to the 13, charge to the front, not done. Move him up to the 5th position. Kyle Kammer back to the 6th. Kyle Kammer, the hammer, is not done. He's looking back to the inside, but the momentum is going to carry the 13. You see that 9 truck cutting the apron. That's definitely going to hurt his tires, but he's digging for this 5th position.
He's trying so hard to make the bottom work, but I think 13 knows that the outside is better in 1 and 2, so he always takes the preferred line, trying to give the position, not trying to give the position up tonight here at Chicagoland.
Gonna take a look back to the front of the field. Carl Shed has said, see you later. He's got about half a second over Ross Cato and Eric Stanford, and that is a battle for second that is heating up. Cato slips up the track a little. Here comes Eric Stanford. He starts to close in on the deck lid as they cut the corner. Was we complete lap 12.
Eric Stanford all over the rear deck lid, and his Toyota Tundra now looks a little bit lower than Ross Cato, trying to get some air on the nose. Here comes Ross Cato off of turn 2, down this back straightaway. Eric Stanford's trying to build a run, coming to you, Andrew.
Big run from the 19. He's going to look to the bottom of the racetrack, ducks back in behind that 12 truck. He's going to put that black and pink car right on the outside line, going to try to get the momentum, but I think Ross Cato has the advantage as we come to complete lap 13.
Don't look too far back now. Dylan C. Jones is a man on a mission right now. Dylan Jones now passes Shane Parrish, and still the battle on for the top 5 spot. 13 to Matt Hoover to the outside in the Florida Gator machine, and Kyle Kammer to the bottom of the racetrack. But don't look too far back. Here comes the 8 machine with no sponsor. Kyle Kammer loose on the bottom of the tri-oval.
That's going to cost him 1, maybe 2 positions. Kyle Kammer just got real loose off the corner, and that's going to allow the 8 truck of Dylan Jones to get by. And here comes Shane Parrish. He's looking to get by as well. A big moment for the 9 truck, and that's definitely going to cost him.
Battle for second is on. Headed towards me, Andrew, into turn 1. Eric Stanford all the way to the wall almost. Now Ross Cato gets on the bottom, gets a little loose. That's going to give the 19 the preferred line. He's going to have the run coming down the back straightaway.
Advantage 19. He's going to get clear of the 12 as they head into turn 3. Give the advantage. Eric Stanford's going to move up to second, move Ross Cato back to third. And don't look now. Here comes the 98 of Washington. He's starting to close in on your leaders.
All this behind the 45 machine of Carl Shed. He is smooth selling right now. Into turn 1 he goes, all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Works the truck in really smooth. He hasn't came off the bottom all race long. Andrew, I just don't know if anybody has anything for the 45 machine.
And if I'm going to say one guy does, it's that 98 UPS Chevy Silverado of David Washington right now. He has turned the wick up as here he comes to the inside of Ross Cato. This is the battle for third. He's going to get a little loose off the corner, still able to close in on that 12 truck.
Ross Cato, I think he's burning his tires up now. He's starting to fall off the pace. Eric Stanford may be moving up just a little bit. Carl Shed actually comes off the bottom after noticing in his rearview mirror that everybody else is running the higher line. And now Dave Washington with a big run coming down this back straightaway. That's going to gain him about 2 car lengths off to Ross Cato off into 3 and 4.
Big thing in my end right now, Daniel. Trucks are starting to move up the track, and as you said, the leader has taken notice. You look at Eric Stanford, he's running higher than everyone. I don't know what you're seeing down there in turn 1, but the line is definitely moving up the racetrack.
What I see, Andrew, is a battle for 5th place. Dylan C. Jones to the bottom of the racetrack. There's no battle there. He's clear of Matt Hoover off into turn 1 and 2. The 8 machine up 4 positions from the start of this race.
Gonna exit off of turn 2. Hoover in that bright orange truck. Gonna look to battle. It's not even gonna be a challenge. The road to pro driver right now looking to go pro, and he is carrying that momentum he's had in RSR to this race. He started dead last on the field, move him up to the 5th spot, and he is charging through this field.
Go up to the front of the field now. Battle for third is on. David Washington was to the inside of Ross Cato through 3 and 4. Got a little loose. I believe the bottom of the racetrack is going away. The 45 machine is in clean air, so that's going to give him a little bit more of less downforce, maybe not putting enough nose weight on the front of the truck to actually make it a little bit loose. Off into 3 and 4 they go.
Carl Shed right now is opening it back up to a second right now. Eric Stanford got by Ross Cato, not able to break away as much, and as we said, David Washington still closing in on this battle. Got to look back to the 5th spot because Dylan Jones right now is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. If this goes green, watch out for that 8 car to really break into this battle for the race lead.
Look at it, 2nd, 3rd, 4th almost. You could throw over a blanket. 2nd and 3rd, you could throw a blanket over them. Right now, Eric Stanford gets loose off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Now look back, he's about a car length ahead of Ross Cato off in the 3 and 4.
I'll tell you what, ever since Eric Stanford got by Ross Cato, Ross has moved that out highline and he's making gains. But out front right now, as we complete the 1/3 mark here at the Chicagoland Speedway, it's all been Carl Shed.
Carl Shed, easy off into turn 1 and 2, has no pressure behind him, but all the pressure is on Eric Stanford to hold that second spot as Ross Cato's finally working the outside line. He's looking like the best truck on the racetrack right now.
Eric Stanford gained about a truck length down that back straightaway. He seems like he has figured it out. He's back to the bottom of the racetrack through 3 and 4. It seems like the line has migrated back to the bottom here in 3 and 4. What are you seeing down in 1 and 2 there, Daniel?
As you can see, Carl Shed right now in the 45 machine coming into turn 1 and 2. Let's see what line he takes. He's going to take the middle to low line. He's burying it off in there, kind of diming the entry of the corner and lets it wash up. He has the best looking truck. It's a little loose there. As you can see, the grip has gone from maximum to about none right now on all these machines.
And a big thing to watch is this track produces some great racing. You see cars all the way up against the wall. You see cars right on the line. There's lines, and right now, battle is on for the 3rd spot. Here comes David Washington. He's going to look to the bottom of Ross Cato as they head down towards you.
They're equal, headed towards me into turn 1 and 2. Now he barrels it off into turn 1. David Washington to the bottom. Ross Cato to the outside. It's whoever can pick up the throttle and keep it straight the most. David Washington give it to him off of turn 1 and 2, but Ross Cato's going to fight back down the back straightaway, and he's going to get a truck length ahead.
Momentum carried the 12 back by, but here comes David Washington fighting back to the inside. They're about a whole truck length distance right now. You're going to have to give the advantage to the 12 as he carries the momentum. Coming back to the line is going to be Cato at the spot by about half a truck length.
At this moment in the race, you're getting frustrated because you say better tires than the field ahead of you and the drivers ahead of you. Ross Cato barrels it off, rim riding like Dale Earnhardt Jr. Here he comes with a big run down the back straightaway. He's going to get pulled right again to clear. Dave Washington headed to you, Andrew, into 3 and 4.
What a battle for this 3rd spot. You got to imagine it's very frustrating in the 98. He probably has the better tires and the better truck. Just cannot get the momentum to get clear as you see him slip off the corner. Once again, Ross Cato going to get clear of Dave Washington for the 3rd spot.
Now Ross Cato looks to break the draft a little bit of the UPS machine. Dave Washington all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack into turn 1 and 2. Ross Cato still running against the wall, about a foot off of it. Now David Washington shoots it all the way across the racetrack. He's trying to get a big run into 3 and 4.
Take a look at your leader right now. Carl Shed still with the 2nd lead. Eric Stanford has been able to break away from the battle for 3rd, but it is still on. Here comes Dave Washington to the bottom of Ross Cato as they come across the line. Give the advantage still to Ross Cato.
David Washington right there on the rear quarter panel of Ross Cato. Looks to the inside, off into turn 1 and 2 he goes. Down to the bottom of the racetrack, about middle groove. Pushes Ross Cato up off his line a little bit. Still give the advantage to Ross Cato as it gets loose a little bit. Dave Washington had to check up.
Gonna look back in the field right now. Matt Hoover and Shane Parrish have been fighting for that 7th spot as well right now. Advantage to Matt Hoover, for the 6th position. Looking back out front here. Still the battle on for 3rd, and they cannot decide it. Washington right now has a little better run than he's had all laps. Watch for him to dive it down into turn 1.
David Washington down to the bottom of the racetrack, this time by Ross Cato all the way up against the wall. You can't really get any closer. You're going to hit it. Side job, clear. David Washington, what a move. Coming down the back straightaway, trying to take the line away of Ross Cato.
Ross Cato fighting back. He said not yet. And right now, David Washington drives it hard into the corner. Here comes Ross Cato, going to get the crossover right now. Advantage for the first time. Move David Washington up to 3rd as he's going to block for that high line.
He blocks Ross Cato off into turn 1 and 2. Looking now, Dylan C. Jones with the unscheduled pit stop right here. He's pulling out of pit road. This time by, I think it was 4 tires and a full fuel tank of fuel. Maybe he's trying pit strategy right now.
Right now, you do have to look. We are only 2 laps away from the halfway mark. These trucks cannot make it. They do need to make a scheduled pit stop right now. I think a good call from Dylan Jones to pit earlier as he was mired back in traffic.
Maybe he has something up his sleeve, as you can tell. Carl Shed's still about a 2nd ahead of Eric Stanford. Then you got to go back to 3 seconds to David Washington and about 3.5. Now still battle on for 3rd. Carl Shedd, Ross Cato and David Washington still going at it. Dave almost hits the wall off of turn 2.
Cars sliding all over this racetrack, and right now they're fighting at it like it's for the lead on the last lap. Advantage right now to Dave Washington. He's going to pull away by about 2 truck lengths as they exit turn 4. Cars slide up the racetrack. You can tell the handling has definitely gone away in these trucks.
Coming to halfway right here. Let's go through a full field rundown. Carl Shedd running first right now. Still your leader, has led every single lap of the 30 laps we've ran tonight. Second goes to Eric Stanford. Third to Dave Washington. Fourth to Ross Cato. Fifth to Matt Hoover. Sixth to Shane Parrish. And seventh to Dylan Jones, 1 lap down. And rounding out your field in the 8th position is Kyle Kamer with that big slide down the back straightaway.
Did have to note, I believe he did come in and pit as well. You're going to have to look as we just have crossed the halfway mark. It's been all Carl Shedd out front, but these trucks are going to have to come down for service. They need gas, not so much tires, but you're definitely going to want them the way these trucks are handling. Here comes Carl Shedd down the back straightaway as it stretched that lead to about 1.3 second. Back in third, David Washington has been able to pull away because the 12 of Ross Cato has come down to pit road right now. He's coming down for 4 tires and fuel. Gonna have to look when our leader decides to come, as that's gonna force his hand. Ross Cato was running 4th.
How much longer will the leaders stay out? First, second, third. Second's only a 1.5 seconds back, but look way back, 3.5 back to Dave Washington, and look no farther back from him. Dylan C. Jones is a man on a mission with 4 fresh tires. He's all the way back up to 3rd position, trying to catch 3rd to get back his lap.
Following that white 8 Chevy Silverado down the back straighter, you're going to see him blow by the 98 here as he comes off of turn 4. Dave Washington comes up the track, and he's going to get clear. You got to take advantage of those 4 tires. He did pit way before everybody else did, so he really has to take advantage of those 4 fresh Goodyears.
Carl Shedd still stays on the racetrack through 1 and 2. They work. Eric Stanford running the high line. Carl Shedd has not left the bottom all race long. Looking back down to the 3rd spot to David Washington. Dave is all over the place in the UPS machine. I think his tires have gone away, Andrew.
Something we really have to watch is the 12 car of Ross Cato. He got passed by Dylan Jones, so once this pit cycle does circle around, if we don't get a caution, Dylan Jones will be in front of Ross Cato, and I think the 8 car right now looking very, very good.
He was really quick on that long run at the beginning of the race before he pitted. Lap 34 in the books. Coming around, looking to the top of the board right now. In the 5th position is Shane Parrish, but he's been right there on the back of Matt Hoover's heels all race long.
And I'll tell you what, it's just a question of when these cars decide to pit. Here comes Dylan Jones at the inside of Carl Shedd. That's going to put him back on the lead lap. And here comes Eric Stanford down pit road. Going to head down towards you, Daniel.
Eric Stanford in pit road this time by. I wouldn't be surprised. I believe the crew chief's up on the box screaming right now. 4 tires and a full tank of gas. Eric Stanford coming down this long, slow pit road at 50 miles per hour. He's pulling into his box right now. He slides in completely. Up on the right sides they go. Eric Stanford jacks up the right sides. Now coming around, that's 2 right side tires. Coming around, they're finally down on the jack. Up on the left. Right now, here we go. How long is this pit stop? About a 15.2 second pit stop on the 19 machine.
And Dave Washington is going to peel off as well. Now the question is, when is Carl Shedd going to come? Big thing that I just saw was Dylan Jones went flying by the 19 of Eric Stanford, meaning he's going to be way out front. I think ball's in the court of the 8 car right now.
How much longer will them tires last on the 8 machine? As you can see, David Washington sitting in his pit box right now, up on the right sides, down on the right sides, up on the lefts this time. David Washington, the UPS machine, has ran about 3rd to 4th all race long. He's hard out on the gas, 50 miles an hour, coming to the commitment line. He's good to go.
Big thing to watch on these trucks, too. It is very, very loose down on the apron. And here comes your leader, as we said, Carl Shedd going to come in. I think he might have waited too long as he heads down into his stall. Looks like he got in cleanly there. Your leader all race right now. He's going to have some work to do once he exits, because here comes the 8 car of Dylan Jones. He's going to pass the end of pit road right now. Carl Shedd's going to have a lot of work to do once he gets out on the track.
Carl Shedd is just now leaving pit road. put Dylan Jones almost a 2-second lead, maybe 3 seconds now, after that quick pit stop by the 8 machine. He's working up down the back straightaway now. He's coming to you, Andrew, in the 3 and 4.
Coming down that white 8 Chevy Silverado. He's looked good all day. He started way in the back, trying to carry the momentum of his success in RSR right now. He's running third. Big thing to look at right now. Matt Hoover has not stopped. Can he make it on gas? Shane Parrish has not stopped. Can he make it on gas? We got to remember these guys right now. They're only about 20 laps away from the finish of this thing. Have they been saving gas? It's a big question that we have not even thought about.
I don't know if you can go 60 laps, Andrew. I think that's kind of stretching it. Maybe they're trying to get one of them cautions that will put them up in the front of the field because everybody else will come down pit road to get 4 fresh tires with them. As you look at the leaders, 13, Matt Hoover works the outside. They work about the identical line through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, it's like Shane Parrish is just following the tracks of the 13.
I think Shane Parrish right now biding his time. Maybe they're hoping for a caution, but right now we cannot digress. Right now this is a battle for the race lead, and you never know when cautions fall, or maybe, like I said, they can stretch it on the gas.
Yeah, maybe they can, Andrew. Off into turn 1 and 2 they go again. Shane Parrish right there following the tracks of the 13 Florida Gators machine. He actually goes up a little bit higher, center of the corner. This might give him a big run down this back straightaway, Andrew.
Coming down the back straightaway, it's all Matt Hoover in the 13 Gator car. Gonna put it right in the middle of the racetrack. Shane Parrish, like you said, running a little bit higher, but pretty much matching his tracks. They come off of turn 4 to complete lap 40, and we are 2/3 of the way through this race.
Lap 40 in the books right there, looking far behind him. You got the 9 machine. He's not a factor in this race anymore. Put Camera 1 lap down still in the quality care machine. He works the outside line. Yeah, I think he has a little bit fresher tires, so that's going to give him a big run right here to the Shane Parrish Serve Pro machine. The 9, what a run. Here he comes. 2 car lengths. Now a car length to off into turn 3 and 4.
Kyle the Hammer Camera looking to unlap himself here. He comes to the outside of the 82. Definitely going to take his time. They're side by side as eggs. Oh, Kyle Camera in the wall hard. And that's going to hurt any chance he had right now. Big contact there. We're going to take a look back at it. Just exit of turn 4. Puts get a little too hard and smack that outside wall.
It looked like a little bit of contact there coming through the exit of turn 3 and 4, Andrew, on your side of the track, and it looked like just the 9 machine went up into the wall. There was nothing he could do, but looking right now at the 13 and the 81, they're still racing for the lead. 81 now, Matt Hoover making the big move. He's coming down pit road, Andrew, coming to you.
Here comes Matt Hoover, your race leader, is going to peel off, and he slides, takes out the commitment cone. That's going to be a big mistake. We'll see if iRacing black flags him right now. You're going to imagine he's going to come down at 45 miles an hour, going to look for his pit stall. I got to imagine he's going to take 4 tires and gas here. Looking on the racetrack right now, though, here comes the 8 car of Dylan Jones. He's going to come over to take right now second. Got to imagine Shane Parrish is going to have to pit if that 13 of Hoover just came in right now. Here comes Shane Parrish off of turn 4. He's on the brakes, on the thing. What heartbreak for him is he was going to see if he can make it, but he's going to come down, slide his tires as well. That's going to turn the lead back over to Dylan Jones. And you got to imagine right now, Jones has a big smile on his face as he almost has a 6-second lead over second place of Ross Cato.
Yeah, but he doesn't have as fresh tires as Ross Cato, Eric Stanford, David Washington, Carl Shedd. Look how much Carl Shedd losses. There's a big battle right now between Eric Stanford and Dave Washington. Contact coming into turn 1 a little bit. Oh, they're wrecking each other. Eric Stanford gets loose, saves it. What a save by the 19 machine, but that's going to give the 45 that spot, and he wants more. Don't look back now, David Washington. Here comes the 45 Monster Energy Toyota Tundra.
Dave Washington not screwing around. He put that 19 in a spot he didn't want to be, and that's going to cost Eric Stanford 2 spots as he's getting loose off the corner. Got a feel for Carl Shedd, led most of this race. Pitted a little too late, I think. I don't think he's going to have the time to get back to that race lead.
I don't think so either, but David Washington, what an evil move by him right then going into turn 1 and 2. Carl Shedd's right behind him. David Washington gets loose. Carl Shedd with a big run through the center of 1 and 2. He's right there, about a half a truck length back. Growing right there. Now he looks to the bottom of the 98 into 3 and 4.
Here comes that 45 Toyota Tundra right to the bottom of the 98 UPS Chevrolet as they come off of turn 4. Give the advantage to Carl Shedd as he's going to dive to the bottom of the racetrack. And he's going to pass David Washington there for the third position.
He's going to clear David Washington off into turn 1 and 2. Clear, don't look back now. Ross Cato, here comes Carl Shedd. Carl Shedd with a big run through the center. He's going to try to take 2 spots in 1 lap.
Carl Shedd sliding out the corner. Here comes Dave Washington. 3 wide for the third spot. And right now, Ross Cato is just a sitting duck. He's going to back out. Carl Shedd's going to get the second spot, but here comes David Washington driving to the bottom of the racetrack right now. Advantage to Carl Shedd. He's going to take that second position.
You can't blink here in racing at all. The sport is evil to you. That's 1 spot. Now 2 spots he loses off into 1 lap. Ross Cato now back to the 4th spot. Don't look too far back. Here comes Eric Stanford from 5th.
You could put a blanket over the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions right now. Out front right now is Dylan Jones. It was a 6-second lead. Right now it's a 4-second lead as we're coming back to 13 laps to go. Big slide from the 98 as he exits the corner, hits the wall. Hard contact. He's going to spin it to the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see if a caution comes out, and he's spinning sideways, stopped in front of the track.
No caution.
No caution.
Does he get the truck moving? I think it stalled, Andrew, right there at the start-finish line.
No caution on the racetrack right now. There it is. Caution flag waves for the 98. Just spun it off the corners. We'll take a look back here at what happened.
As he fires the truck up right there and pulls away, you got to feel bad for the 98 machine, struggling all race long. And now, big problems for the UPS machine. Looks like he just got loose coming out of 3 and 4. What did you see, Andrew?
He came off the corner, rear end, got around. He just barely tapped the wall, which swung the front back. Did a couple 360s and just sat there on the front straightaway. Seemed like the car stalled and he could not get it going. So right now, I think big thing right now, that saved Dylan Jones because that 45 was coming and coming in a hurry. He was.
Yes, he was coming in a hurry. Dylan C. Jones was not playing, but Carl Shedd was a man on a mission. Now this is going to reset the whole field. We're going to come down pit road probably this time and get 4 fresh tires.
And here we go. Money time for these pit crews. And true in iRacing, you cannot control the pit crews, but you can definitely control your speed on pit road, not to get a penalty there. Do not slide through your box. A lot of mind games going on here as Dylan Jones speeds up and slows down. You see that top 4 nose to tail as they enter pit road here.
Top 4 headed down pit road, Andrew. They're coming to you. This time by, I'll give you Dylan Jones's pit stop and Carl Shedd's.
Here they come, 45 miles an hour. Dylan Jones with the first stall. He's going to pull perfectly in. No mistakes there in the pulling. And here comes Carl Shedd. Everybody through the top 5, really top 6, perfectly into their stalls.
Perfectly into their stalls they go. Dylan C. Jones up on the left side. Now down. He's pulling out of pit road this time. All of them down on pit road. Carl Shedd might win the race. He got it.
Carl Shedd comes up clutch there on pit road. And got to give him a big tip of the cap right there because that's going to put him back to the race lead.
Back to the race lead, Carl Shedd goes. Now Dylan C. Jones is going to have his work cut out for him in the 8 machine. He's going to try to get the back straightaway. He is going to lose, what, 1 spot? Yeah, 1 spot for the Dylan C. Jones machine. Ross Cato 3rd, Eric Stanford 4th, and the guy you got to feel bad for, but who got his truck fixed in pit road is that 98 UPS Chevy Silverado.
These drivers here for this recruitment race do have 1 fast repair there, Daniel, so might have been able to use that to get it fixed. Because right now, pacing under caution, Shane Parrish stays out on the track to get a lap back. We're going to come back to 10 to go, and you got to imagine there's no more saving tires. It's going to be go time right from the get-go here.
Right from the get-go is right, Andrew, and pace car lights are still on that Ford Mustang pace car. Probably 2 to go this time by. We'll see what next time by if we get the 1 to go with the lights going off with the pace car and the lights going off around the racetrack. But Carl Shedd, the Dominator, all race long. The 45 machine has probably looked the best of anybody tonight. But now everybody's equal on tires. You got Dylan C. Jones, who started dead last on the field and worked his way all the way up to 4th before pitting for that early pit stop that gave him the lead. Then you got Ross Cato, who's ran about 3rd all race. He's started 3rd and he's running 3rd. Then you got the hustler machine of Eric Stanford, the 19 Toyota Tundra. Maybe he has a shot. And then you got to feel for the kind of lonesome friend out there in the Florida Gators machine, the 13 of Matt Hoover.
Matt Hooper right now, he's had a good race right now, kept in the top 5 most of it, and got to give him a hand. How about this racing, though, Daniel? It's been really, really fun to watch, and if you yourself watching right now wants to join, plenty of spots available here. Just go on the iRacing League page and look up the Noble Truck Series Tour. We have a Facebook link as well in the description. Ton of fun here. You can see clean racing. It's been fun. Only one caution so far, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to join one of these, right, Daniel?
Yeah, I wouldn't know why you wouldn't want to join. We got people who have been around for years doing sim racing that would love to help you if you need help driving. Say you're a rookie, or say you're a classic veteran and want to race and get your hands dirty with the big guys of like Dylan C. Jones and David Washington, and even so like of Carl Shedd as a pace car gets the lights off through turn 1 and 2. Andrew, I see this race going green to the end, and it's going to be about an 8-lap shootout.
And definitely, you got to look at that 45. He was good on the start of the run, but you know what? You got a former pro driver to the outside of Dylan Jones. Ross Cato's been good all race. Eric Stanford, you never know. And how about Matt Hooper? If they get into each other up there, watch him. And the 98, able to use that faster pair. You never know with Dave Washington. He's got a good shot there as well.
You never know what Dave Washington has up his sleeve. Working through 3 and 4, double filed up. Dylan C. Jones hanging back off the 45 machine just a little bit. Ross Cato's right there. Then you got 4th place Eric Stanford, 5th place Matt Hoover, and 6th place now is going to be David Washington, and 2 laps down behind him is Shane Parrish. And now the pace car pulling off a pit road. Right here, the 45 machine looking gone. He's on the loud pedal.
What a jump by the 45 of Carl Shedd right now. First battle on the racetrack is for the 2nd spot. Advantage to Dylan Jones as he is at high line as they head into turn 1.
Heading down into turn 1, Carl Shedd, don't look back now. Here comes Ross Cato. He clears 2nd. He's looking for more off of turn 2. Here they come, Andrew, coming to you, single file.
What a start by Ross Cato. He gets clear of the Dylan Jones machine as now he's going to start to go to work on the 45 of Carl Shedd. Battle on the racetrack is for the 3rd spot. Here comes Eric Stanford looking at the bottom, and I didn't notice there's some damage on that 8 truck.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of damage on the front end. I've noticed that just a little bit. Wasn't too much to talk about, but now I think it's hurting his downforce. Look back behind him. David Washington moves up into the 5th spot. He clears Matt Hoover. Matt Hoover gets back in the throttle as hard as he can to fight back coming out of turn 2.
Single file first 4, but don't look now. Here comes a 12 truck of Ross Cato. He's keeping it about 1 car length. Here comes Dylan Jones at the bottom of the racetrack on Eric Stanford. This is the battle for 3rd, and they're side by side for 5th as well. Here comes David Washington, and right now first battle on the racetrack is for 3rd still. Here comes Dylan Jones at the bottom of Eric Stanford. We come to 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go right now. Off into turn 1 and 2 they work. Dylan C. Jones to the bottom of Eric Stanford. David Washington to the bottom of Matt Hoover. Who's going to clear who first? Dylan C. Jones pushes up into Eric Stanford's door. Down off into turn 3 and 4 they go.
Here comes Dylan Jones. He's going to park that one right on the line. Eric Stanford. Oh, Dylan Jones slips up the racetrack. They're going to split him 3 wide. Matt Hoover gets by. David Washington gets by. And here comes Shane Parrish. Even though he's lapped down, he's going to get by as well.
What just happened to Dylan Jones for 3 and 4? He gave up 6 spots right there. Carl Shedd, about a car length, 2 car lengths now, up ahead of Ross Cato, maybe gaining more down the back straightaway. I say about 4 car lengths headed to you, Andrew. Looking back to Eric Stanford.
They come down that long sleeping back straightaway. Carl Shedd, like he's done all day. He's going to put that car right on the white line where the grip is. Gets back to the gas right now. 4 more circuits around the Chicagoland Speedway for that 45 Toyota Tundra.
Carl Shedd now working the bottom of the racetrack all the way into turn 1 and 2 we go. Carl Shedd down to the bottom. Ross Cato a little off the white line, and don't look too far back. You got Eric Stanford, and now your new 4th place runner of Matt Hoover with a back bumper full of Dave Washington down the back straightaway.
These guys will not settle it right now. The 13 Gator work car right now has the spot. David Washington in that UPS Chevy Silverado wants it. They come off of turn 4. David Washington with a big run. He's going to look to the apron. Meanwhile, out front, coming to 3 laps to go. It's all Carl Shedd.
All Carl Shedd out front. Dave Washington all over the rear deck lid of the 13 Florida Gators machine. Matt Hoover has 5th or 4th, and now Dave Washington wants it. He's shoving him down off the turn 2. Here comes the field. Down down the back straightaway. Come to you, Andrew.
Battle on for the 4th position. Here comes Dave Washington looking at the bottom. Matt Hooper right now runs that middle lane. He leaves a little lane open. Here comes Dave Washington in the 98. Battle right now on for the 4th spot. Dave Washington's going to get chopped off by the 13 as we come to 2 to go.
Dave Washington shoving the 13 down the front straightaway. Off into turn 1, turns him. 13 around, caution's out, the race is over. Win to Carl Shedd, and they're wrecking behind him. Dylan C. Jones around. Shane Parrish around. The big one in turn 1 and 2 here at Chicagoland.
Looks like Dave Washington just got a little bit frustrated. Chased it up the racetrack. We see him going down in the turn 1. 13 just came down across the 98 nose was what it looks like. Piled in was the 8 car of Dylan Jones. Shane Parrish nowhere to go. Big wreck there, and disappointment there from the 13. Gonna have to take a look back, but it looked like he just cut down when Dave Washington did not for that corner.
Yeah, it just was a bad situation for the 13 machine, but Carl Shedd gets the yellow and the white together right here. Ross Cato gonna finish 2nd tonight, and Eric Stanford's gonna finish 3rd. Andrew, Carl Shedd had the car all race long, had the truck. He was the best guy on the racetrack, hands down. This guy deserves it to go to victory lane tonight at Chicagoland.
Definitely deserves it, and Carl Shedd in that Monster Energy 45 Toyota Tundra has just been out front all day. Questionable pit call. It would have been interesting to see if he could have ran down the 8 truck of Dylan Jones, but caution came out, and right now Carl Shedd has to be licking his chops as he's going to pace across the line right now. Carl Shedd is going to pick up the win here in the Noble Truck Series at Chicagoland.
Congratulations all around for the 45 machine. Ross Cato is going to bring it home 2nd. What a drive for that young man in the 12 machine. He's 26 years old, out of Stockbridge, Georgia. What a race for him. It's coming back on the comeback trail for the 12 machine. And Eric Stanford, the kind of guy that, you know, goes into limited late model dirt car races and kind of runs really good. He found his way up to the front, and congratulations to all 3 of those drivers tonight.
Eric Stanford really with a good run. A driver who likes these trucks, and definitely showed it tonight. Dave Washington, a rough finish there in 4th. Matt Hooper comes home 6th. Dylan C. Jones, expected a lot out of him, just got loose off the corner, and you never know if that caution did not come out. It would have been a good battle between him and Carl Shedd. But on the front stretch right now, Carl Shedd burning it down, and a big celebration out of that black and green Toyota Tundra. We hope to catch a word with him as soon as he's done burning it down right now. Daniel, fun race to watch though overall.
What a great race. I mean, 2 cautions. You couldn't ask for more for a 60-lap dash here at Chicagoland. And Noble's got a lot of great drivers and, you know, a lot of ups and downs for the series, you know, with this recruitment race, not having the car counts we wanted. But every single person here tonight had a great job, did a great job, and you know, you got to give it to the 45 machine of Carl Shedd and that Toyota Tundra. And Andrew, I think you're down there with him right now.
And here comes Carl Shedd climbing out of that 45 Toyota Tundra, and he led all race. A little doubtful there at the pit call, but it ended up working out for him. And here he comes getting sprayed by champagne. Carl, take us through that race, and man, that pit call. Did you think you were going to be able to get back to the 8 car there, or 8 truck to win that race?
Yeah, you know, we got I just didn't want to be on the equal tires. It was so hard to pass. The car would get so light under somebody. So I thought if I could play chicken with Dave a little bit, and maybe let him get a lap in, that I might have something for him. And you know, the 2 of those guys got to battling up there, Stanford and Washington, and then that was it. I think they almost wrecked each other. I got a good run, and then that was it.
Definitely, and we saw you run that bottom lane most of the race. You moved up a little bit there later in the run when Eric Stanford started to catch you. Was this track had plenty of lanes to race, or were you really just trying things?
Yeah, I was just trying things because you couldn't really get the power down at all coming up off the corner as, you know, you're pedaling it and trying to see if the rear has grip, and you couldn't really ever get full throttle till you're almost off the corner. So I was just trying to find any angle I could off the corner so that it would actually bite and run. And, you know, I watched Eric gain 3 or 4 tenths on me trying the middle to the top. And, you know, I said, you know, I got to live on the bottom tonight, and just got right back as quick as I could.
And that truck definitely looked good out there, and that 45 right on the bottom, that's probably where all the grip was. I think you proved it tonight. Congratulations. Anybody you need to thank on the win?
Yeah, thank all you fellas for the work you're doing up there in the booth. I can't wait to listen back and see how you do. Dave Washington, Dylan, Stanford, Cameron, all the boys here that work hard, and our boy Andy who's missing in action. But yeah, appreciate you guys for putting this on.
User joined your channel.
Congratulations there, Carl Shed, your winner from Chicagoland. And I believe you've caught up with second place there, Daniel Ross Cato.
I'm down here with Ross Cato in the 12 machine. That Zippo Toyota Tundra looked very good all night. You started third, you finished second. Ross, it just didn't look like you had enough for Carl Shed tonight. Tell us about your race.
It was fun. I haven't raced in a long time, a couple weeks, so it was good to get back in the driver's seat. Like you said, qualified third, and pretty much ran up front more or less all night. Decided to pit around halfway to kind of, get ahead of the curve with the guys, and it was a fun race, and I gave Carl my all before that caution came out, that last caution, but I had a really good time.
Yeah, it looked like after that last caution came out, not the very first caution actually that came out, not the one that just happened, but it looked like you were trying all you could for him, and just looked like you came up a little bit short. During the middle part of that race, when you were racing around Dave and Eric, was the battle fun, or were you just worried about keeping your truck on the racetrack?
Yeah, I was trying different lines, and that was some fun racing with Dave when I was up top and he was down low, and we were just inching ahead of one another back and forth. And toward the end, chasing after Carl, I was even trying to drive it in really, really deep and then use some brake, just anything I could figure out to try to get to him.
Well, Ross, congratulations on your second place finish, and we know you don't do it by yourself. Who do you have to thank out there?
I want to thank this fabulous cohort of gentlemen that I can get online virtually every night with and race with, and for this magnificent league. And I haven't seen the broadcast yet, of course, because I was behind the wheel, but I look forward to going back and viewing it.
User was moved to your channel.
And that is Ross Cato coming home in second place tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. And Andrew, I think you've caught up with the third place driver on the podium tonight, Eric Stanford.
Standing here on pit road with the 19 of Eric Stanford. Eric had a good run tonight. You look like you really had a second place to third place truck there, and one of the only guys I saw using that high lane. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad on the low line early, but later in the run, a high line came in for me anyway. Started gaining on Shed, but after about 5-6 laps up top there, just kind of stayed there about a second behind him. I couldn't gain any more on him.
Definitely looked like the high lane was good for a few laps there, but
User left your channel.
Carl Shed really went to the bottom and was able to pick up time. Talk us through that battle that you were having with Ross Cato and Dave Washington there. It looked like a heck of a time.
Yeah, it was fun. It's always fun racing with Dave and Ross. Trying to keep Dave behind me, but it's hard to do.
Man of a few words here, Eric. We're going to let you go. Anybody you need to thank on your third place finish?
Everybody from Aegis, you guys for putting this on. Wife for letting me do this.
Thanks so much, Eric. I know you didn't want to do it, but you were great.
Thanks.
All right, Daniel, anything you need to wrap up before we end here?
Well, it was 60 laps and 2 cautions tonight here at Chicagoland Speedway. You couldn't ask for much more of great racing at Chicago and Joliet, Illinois, the virtual style, I might say. But Andrew, it was well worth the watch. It was well worth the broadcast, and it was well worth the recruitment race for these drivers tonight. And if there's anybody out there listening right now, this is a Noble Motorsports Truck Series, the tour, right here, coming to you live at Chicagoland Speedway. And Andrew, you can send us off.
And definitely check out the description. We have a Facebook page and all. Definitely going to be a fun season once we do get going. I believe we'll do another recruitment race next Wednesday. Anybody watching would love to come out. Would love to have you. Great racing here. Track to be determined. But for that, we're going to wrap it up. Once again, congratulations to Carl Shed on the win. And we'll catch you in the next one.